Okay. Sorry for that. I was not aware my time is fast. I was okay. We are back. So, any confusion about what we've discussed?
All good from my end, sir.
Please let me hear from everybody, please.
It's okay. It's good from my end too.
Okay. Hmm. Now, here is the big question. We've talked about automation. We've talked about artificial intelligence, and we've talked about artificial intelligence automation. I said AI automation is that workflow where the AI play a prominent role. It helps you in making judgments, it helps you in reading whatever is coming in, it assists you with so many things. The AI plays uh, uh, a prominent role. It helps with understanding of what is coming out and what should go back. Just imagine if you are working as you are building an automation for a customer service, and you say, okay, if this message comes in, the AI has to read it and find out if this is a complaint or request or a query. So if a message comes in and the AI try to read it to find out if this is a request. If it's a request, it follows the route of a request. If it's a complaint, it follows the route of a complaint. So in AI automation, in that workflow, the AI plays a prominent role. It helps in decision and determine which route to go and what to do based on what he has discovered from the input that is coming in. So now the question is what can AI do inside your workflow? So like I said, when we talk about AI in the context of automation, we are talking about the language models, and those models, they have extraordinary capability. Imagine you can tell AI, please write a letter for my boss wishing him happy birthday. You will discover ChatGPT will just because it has that capability. When you say write a letter of apology to so and so, telling him that I'm sorry for what happened. Somebody is saying cannot hear me. Please confirm if you cannot hear me. Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
I can
I can
hear
hear you,
you.
sir.
Uh, okay, please. They can hear me. If you cannot hear me, maybe you log out and log in again. Okay, thank you. Where was I? All right. So this is the question we're about to answer. And I think I've mentioned it uh, while I was explaining. Your AI in your workflow can help you to read and understand, then determine if an email is a complaint. I try to bring this illustration to something that is very close to us so that we can relate, so that when by the time you start building, you will know exactly what is happening and why that is happening. So your AI, one of the function of your AI in your workflow. Now, I'm feeling like somebody is confused with this. Your workflow is not an automated intelligent workflow if your model is not in it. So when you have an automated workflow that doesn't include a model, remember we talked about when we were talking about the AI revolution, when we said there are three of those category: the model, the packages, and the what's the third one? The application. Yes. When you have an automation that does not have an AI component, a model, any LMM model in it, that is just an automation. That is just a workflow. But the moment you have any of those model in it, it now becomes an AI automation or AI workflow. Do we get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one of the things your AI can do in your workflow is to help you read and understand your data. It can also help in extraction of information. It can help you summarize. It can help you make decision. It can help you categorize. Imagine maybe uh, I love giving this example. If you receive an email and maybe you want to attach label to those email. Let's say maybe in your office you have an email that you want to easily find. You don't want to be looking for it before you get them. You can attach a label to that email, and if you are using workflow on that email, you can actually tell your workflow to help you categorize this email. Say, okay, if this email is coming and it's coming from the general manager, please put it here. So it helps you to categorize, just like your typical Gmail. You see some mail goes to spam, some mail goes to your inbox, some mail goes to your promotion, some mail goes to your update. That is categorization in workflow. That is categorization in the context of AI automation. Now, AI can also help you to generate content. It can help you to reply. So imagine you are building an automation that replies to email. So it is the AI that will help you to generate the content that it will send back. But then remember, I said the AI play a prominent role. When it reads the message that comes in, it will check the context. Is this email, does it sound like a complaint? Does it sound like a request? So whatever it identifies, that is what it will use to generate that content that it will send back to the user or to the sender. It can also help you to translate and help you to answer questions. AI can help you to answer questions. So you can build an example of that is like um, an agent or a chatbot. Yes, a chatbot can help you to answer questions. If you visit some sites, maybe like uh, uh, First Bank portal now, or maybe Zenith Bank portal, or maybe even Remita, or even some school portal, you see an agent that is just sitting at one corner and is asking you to ask it anything. That is a chatbot. That is a chatbot. And that chatbot is actually a workflow, is an AI automated workflow that helps those companies to answer questions based on the parameter that they had feed into it, and with that it can be able to relate to what the the user is trying to ask, or to what the user is trying to ask. So most of the AI automation that you will see, or that you can see, or that you might have seen, they are not just the one that has, you know, that have sophisticated AI. They are the one that actually apply the AI capability in the right context. If your workflow does not need any reasoning, does not need any generating, does not need anything to summarize, does not need anything to extract, then there is no need to include an AI node in that workflow. There is no need to introduce it. So it's not about just say, okay, because this AI has the capacity to do this, I just put it in there. No, your automation might still work, but that thing, that AI you put there is not useful. It's not doing anything. So it's not about using the AI. It's about this AI you are using. Is it performing a function? Is it doing something for me in my workflow? So you use your AI in your automation to solve the right problem. If it's not necessary, so you don't have to put it. You don't have to put it. So it is not skill when you build AI. It is about knowing the capability and where you can use it within your workflow. It's about knowing where you can use it within your workflow. So if AI can do everything, that's one of the, I'm seeing a message here. What is this? Okay. Some of the question you know, I hear from people is, if AI can do everything for you, if AI can automate every task, if AI can connect different systems, different apps together, remember we talked about APIs in the beginning. So why do I need AI? And the answer is simple. You must first of all understand your workflow. If your workflow involves that you make decision, if your workflow involves that you extract certain information, if your workflow involves that you classify, you do certain things that are intelligent like, then that workflow requires an AI. That's one of the way you know that this my workflow I'm about to build requires an AI. There is need for AI in this workflow. Otherwise, there is no need for an AI in your workflow. Otherwise, there is no need for uh, AI in your workflow. Okay, I don't want to spend too much of time. We still have one chapter to cover. Uh, the mental model, thinking like an AI. You have to think like an automation architect before you can build your workflow. Now, this is one thing that nobody tells you. I'm not sure if anyone has heard someone say this before. Now, you only need about maybe 40%. The technical skill to build an automation is just about 40%. Why the other 60% is the mental model, the way you think, the way your business runs their thing, the way you think in the line of your business, in the line of your personal stuff. That is what matters in building automation. So before you even start to build your automation, you have to bring out your mental model. If you are just joining us, there's an assignment that was given. Write a particular task that you want to automate at the end of this class. You will be building that by yourself. Whatever we do here, you will implement it in your own problem, in that problem that you are writing down, and that will be your capstone project. I bet you, if you do this, if you do every instruction I gave to you in this class, by the end, you'll be confident. You will be very confident. I can guarantee you that. I understand many people are saying the time is short. Yes, the time is short, but you can still make the best out of it. You can still make the best out of it. So that's why uh, we will work together. Remember, nobody will be left out. Nobody will be left out. And if you understand this particular session, the next session will be as easy as a piece of cake for you, because the next class will be built based on this. Why we will be building, we will be making reference. When I'm talking about trigger, somebody is not confused about what is trigger. When I'm talking about automation, somebody will not be confused about what is automation. When I'm talking about conditions, routing, somebody will not be confused, because you have digested this first part. of it. All right. So before you start building your workflow, now I need you to also implement this in the assignment I gave you. Write that task. Then you now ask yourself these 6 questions and you write their answer beside them or under them, depending on how you structure your work. What starts this process? After you've jot down what you want to automate, now you now write down this automation. What is that thing that will start this automation? Then after that, you now need to look at what needs to happen when this automation starts. Once this automation, just like in a football field, at the beginning, everyone is standing still with the ball right there in the center of the pitch. So by the time the referee blows the whistle, which is the trigger now, the ball starts to move in different direction. The ball begins to move. So you must ask yourself, what will start my workflow? What is that thing that will start my workflow? And once you've answered that, the next question you will need to ask is what is what will need to happen? What is that thing that should happen once this workflow starts? Once this workflow starts, what should happen? Once this workflow starts, what should happen? Now, another thing you also need to ask is what data are involved? Are you the data that are moving between your workflow? What are those data that are involved in your workflow? And you also need to ask these data, where are they going to? Where those data are going to, you must know the destination of each of those data. Once you determine that, now this is a very important part of this class, is what if something happened, something went wrong, you spend your time building your automation and something went wrong, there is an error, and this part doesn't make you feel less human. It is not a waste of effort. Even the most intelligent uh, developer cannot write 1,000 lines of code successfully. There will be an error. There will always be an error. You tell your AI, once this message come in, do like this and send this. And the message came, but your AI is doing another thing. There is a provision for that. Error could happen. Something can go wrong. Even me, there are times I build automation and they refuse to work. It doesn't make you less human. It doesn't. If you meet developers and you see them, they spend hours writing codes, and the code is not running. They even try to debug the code. Ask ChatGPT, ask Claude. Claude said the code is okay, this code should run. But the developer ran the code, it wasn't running. And in the end, maybe one morning, the developer just suddenly discovered that it was a comma or a full stop that has not allowed the software to run. So error is part of any tech position. Error is part of it. In fact, in programming, they have this concept of error handling, the likes of try catch. So when there is an error, the software will try the error and then or try that line, then catch the error and do something. So error is part of it. There are times you visit certain sites and you will see error message pop up. It is always there. error will always suffice. Error will always suffice. So you must factor that in your planning. What could go wrong in this workflow? And once you identify what can go wrong, then you also find out how, if this thing goes wrong, what can be done. Is part of your workflow, so that you will not build a workflow that it was running and it was running until suddenly something happened, it stops working. So you must make provision for that and how to catch those bugs. All right. So the last thing you need to do is, does any steps require intelligence? I think I've made mention of that. You must ask yourself, this is my workflow. Does it involve reasoning? Does it involve decisions, intelligent decisions now? Because there are also uh, nodes that you can use to make decisions, like switch, like the if. It is not like is that those nodes are making intelligent decisions. I'm talking of decision like extracting data from your input, like reading and summarizing. So you ask yourself, this workflow I'm about to automate, does it involve reasoning at any point? Am I going to be doing something that is AI inclined in it? If yes, then you state what decision or what is that assignment that the AI will be carrying out. Now, so these are the 6 points, 6 foundational points you must go through to have a successful automation. So before you even try to start building, you must first write out all these things. All right, so let's talk about uh, the complexity spectrum. The complexity spectrum. Now, this part has to do with, why is this thing coming up? All right. When you are done with those 6 steps, the next thing is your workflow consists of this, is in a spectrum. And what I mean by spectrum is in, which English am I going to use for you now so that we not confuse anybody? So it is in a particular pattern. Yes, in a pattern. And the first pattern is the connect. What you do in automation is that you connect app. We call them apps, or you call them nodes. You connect nodes that performs distinct functions together. So in connect is simple English. You are connecting, joining, linking apps together. And you, of course, what kickstarts your workflow is the trigger. So there is the trigger and there are other apps and they are connected together. That is the connect. Now, the transform has to do with, I told you, when your workflow starts, data are transferred from one node into another. The output of one node is the input of the other node. So, and those data are moving from one node to the other, to the other, to the other. Now, sometimes a node maybe sending data in which the next node is not needing all of those data. So that process of you trying to streamline, to identify those data that that current node would need from the previous node, that is what we refer to as transform. That is transform. For instance, if you send an email now, there are a lot of details, or maybe you are even doing web scraping. There are a lot of details that will be sent, and then maybe what you only need is the subject of the mail, the email address, and whether the name of the sender is there, and then the context of the message. Maybe that's what you are, you know, needing for the next node. Now, if you pull those items out of the initial bulk data that came together with the mail, that is what we refer to as transform. Or let me put it in the language of data analysis, that is what we call data cleaning, removing unwanted data from your packages. That's what we refer to as a transform. Now, the other part of it is the branch that I think I've explained that part. Conditions, where you determine which route to follow, which route should your automation take depending on the criteria that you set. And then integrate, that's where the what's it called now, API comes in. You want to integrate external app like maybe Google Sheet, for instance, or maybe Slack, or maybe you are trying to connect to external application. That's where the integrate comes in. And all those apps, you are putting them together to make a particular workflow. The intelligent part, I've explained that over and over again. That um, part of your AI that plays the prominent role. And then the agentic, this is way more advanced. Okay, but I will just explain. The agentic, this one has the ability to perform multiple steps. Agentic, I made mention of chatbot. That is an example of agentic. The AI takes action and multiple decision. Imagine um, uh, remitter, for instance. You lost your receipt and you go to that chatbot and you are asking, please, I need to recover my receipt. I need to do this. I need to do that. And the agent is asking you, when was the date of your last transaction? How much did you pay? What time did you pay it? Your email address. So that AI is performing multiple functions at a time. So that's what we refer to as uh, agentic. Okay, let me move quickly. Oh, misconceptions that makes people shrink back when it comes to AI and automation. And these are questions that you hear over and over again. One of the things you must know, or that is a misconception, is that you don't need to know how to code. If you know how to code, great. But coding is not a necessity to AI and automation. The application n8n allows you to build workflow by just connecting those nodes together. All you need to do is to configure them, connect them, and test them, period. Now, there is a part of automation that allows you to code, and that's why I said AI is not intelligent enough until you are intelligent. It is your intelligence that determines the intelligence of AI. For instance, if you see a graphics designer, someone who knows how to do graphics by hand, by skills, you give him a system, he or she does a perfect design for you. If you see that kind of person using AI now to do graphics, compare to someone who has no idea about graphics, just go to one of these models and say, create a design for so, 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 and so, and so, and so, and so, and so. When you place those two designs side by side, you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. So if you know how to code, it's an added advantage, but it's not compulsory that you must know how to code to do automation. That's the first misconception. Another thing is, some people will say automation is for tech company. No, automation is for repetitive tasks, either personal, either company, either any organization, any firm, whatever, provided there is a repetitive process, a process that repeats itself over and over and over and over again. Once you have that, then you quickly know that automation is possible here. Another misconception, some people will say my business is too small. No, there is no size, there is no proportion to which business can be automated. What automation is looking for is any process that repeats itself. That's what automation is looking at. So once you see that this process always repeats itself in this pattern in your personal life, in a business, or in your business, you immediately know that automation is possible here. So you point that place and build an automation for that part. Now, another thing is, some people will say, or I've also explained this one, what if something happened? If the automation ran yesterday and today is no longer running, is welcome. There is room for error handling. In fact, n8n make provisions for a log where you can keep tracks of how your automation ran. If there is an error, it records that error and tells you where that error lies. So all you need to do is to go to that point where that error came from and you deal with it from there. There is error handling, but that is not covered in this class. Uh, it's not covered in this class actually. But for those of us that may want to further, we cover uh, error handling in our intermediate and advanced classes. All right. Introduction to n8n. This is the last part of our class tonight. I didn't expect we would stay this long. All right. We are using n8n. n8n is simply the short form of nodemation. Node, mate, shun. Now, which allows you to connect apps together, is a visual tool that allows you to connect apps together to build a workflow. These apps talks to each other, transfer data between themselves, communicate, and if there is an AI built in it, there is a level of intelligence, and your workflow runs successfully. So that software that allows you to connect those apps together is what we call n8n. There are other apps like Make, like Zapier. you know they are visual based softwares that allows you to connect this app together. um why are we using n8n? It's a very fair question that you need to ask. Number one is n8n is open source. It's open source in that you can self-host it, or you can use it on the server. Self-hosting means you can use it on your local machine, or you can use the cloud version. But there is a limitation. uh, the cloud version only allows a 14 days free trial. We'll be using that, and maybe as time goes on I might introduce you to the self-hosted version, and we'll see how things go from there. It requires uh, um, what's it called? It allows is an open source in that it allows many clients to access it. Another thing is unlimited complexity. You can connect as many nodes as possible depending on your workflow, and also you can introduce an AI. AI can play some role within uh, the workflow. I think I've explained all this on. So let me see. How does n8n think? I've explained this one also. Yes, let me break this down. I think this is, if you've not understood anything, please understand this one. Let me give you this analogy. Imagine a um which example should I use now? All right. Let's use a car factory. A car factory. You discover a car is not produced at once in a place. There are stations. There are places where they do the engines. There are places, if it's an intelligent system, there are places, other stations where they do the glasses, they do the tires and all the chairs, the interiors. Those are stations. In n8n, it is just like that. Every node is a station. Every station perform a specific task. Every node performs a specific task. So it is not that one node is doing multitasking, or is doing performing different function. No. If it's for message, there is a node that sends only message, doesn't do anything other than sending message. If it's to check for certain condition, there is a node that does that. Doesn't do any other thing, just checks for conditions. So I need you to picture that, so that if you are feeling it's overwhelming, no, I'm making it easier. Each node perform a specific task. So once you know the task you want to carry out, then you can now ask what nodes can perform this task. So that's how automation works. Then we have the workflow. It's complete sequence. All those apps you connected that performs those tasks automatically is what we refer to as workflow. Then the execution is when your workflow is triggered and it ran successfully from the beginning to the end. the necessary data are transferred, the necessary action took place, and then the final result was achieved. That is what we refer to as execution. When you run your workflow and the trigger from the trigger to the destination successfully, that is what we refer to as execution. That is what we refer to as execution. Then the next thing we will need to look at is triggers. There are different triggers in n8n. We have the manual trigger. The manual trigger, of course, you have to press a button for it to work. We have schedule trigger. We have the schedule trigger is that trigger that kickstart your workflow at a specific time. Maybe you say every Monday run this workflow. That is a schedule trigger. Every 6 p.m. run this workflow. That is a schedule trigger. We have webhook trigger. This webhook trigger allow you to connect to external services if you want to bring in data from external sources, maybe from another website into that. You use a webhook. You use a webhook. Hey, my God. Okay, sorry for that. Then we have the mail trigger. This trigger kickstart your workflow whenever a message drops in your email. When you get a message in your workflow and you want that uh, workflow to run because you receive a new email in your inbox, that is when you use the Gmail trigger or the email trigger. If you want your workflow to start when you receive an email, the trigger you use for that is your mail trigger. And we also have the Google Sheet trigger, the same thing when a new row is added or when a row is deleted or when a row is updated. We all know about Google Sheet. Whatever anything happen in Google Sheet, you want your workflow to start, then you need to use a Google Sheet trigger. Then we have app triggers like Slack, like Stripe, like your uh, um, GitHub, your Notions, all those triggers, your Typeform, your Shopify, you want them to start your workflow, then you need to use the app trigger. Oh, notes. I think I've categorized them here. When you want communication, these are nodes that can help you achieve communication. When you want to store certain things, you can use Google Sheet node, you can use Postgres, you can use your Drive and all. If you want to transform data, I told you about data transformation. You can use your set node, your if node, your loop over item, your merge, your code and all. I think I've explained all this. Oh, where intelligence enters. I've covered this one also. Now, we have intelligence node, the AI nodes. We have the AI intelligence. This one allows you to remember context. This particular node has three components to it. It has a tool, it has a memory. Oh, Jesus, I think I need to stop like this. Please, is there any question? We still have a little to cover. Okay, data transfer between node in n8n in JSON. And JSON is nothing but curly brace expressions. Please, I already say there's no need to code. Don't allow this one to confuse you. This is how data are transferred in n8n. And this format of data transfer is what they call JSON, JavaScript object. The data are transferred between nodes as objects. All right. Uh, okay, I think this is the last part. The key takeaways. In the chapter 1 of this class, we said AI is becoming more and more sophisticated and is going to be the future of work. You must not be left out. In chapter 2, we'll break down what automation is, and we said a typical automation consists of these three things: the trigger, condition, and action. And we say if you need some sort of intelligence, a workflow where the AI play a prominent role, then you can introduce the AI there. And in chapter 3, we talk about the node. So with this, I think we are done with the whole stories. We will start to build by next week if God keeps us alive. Please, this is time to entertain some question if you have. Please ask question. If there is no question, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Mm.
Please, is there any question?
Yes, I have one question.
All right, please go ahead.
Um, please, I didn't start the class exactly at the right time you started. Is there going to be like a recording?
Yes, there will be a recording. It will be uploaded on our YouTube page. Please and please do justice to watch it so that you can follow us on the next class. All right, so I will be sharing a link with you now. It's just a quick test, just to ascertain if you understand what we did. Let me quickly copy the link and send.
I also have another question, please.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Now, learning this AI and automation tech skill,
Yeah,
where like which places can we make use of it, like to work?
to work.
Yes.
Please, I think I've made mention of this thing. Who can help me out? Hello?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, so basically, there are a lot of opportunities for AI automation engineers. First off, you can work as a consultant for businesses, whereby you help them automate their processes and the rest. You can also work as a freelancer as well. There are actually a lot, and it spans across a lot of industries. So it's a lucrative skill to have.
Okay, please, the person that asked the question, did you get that?
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Any other question, please? I want to share a link. I don't know.
And for for learning this AI and automation, can we make use of our phone or only our phone, or we are still going to need a laptop to learn?
If you want to enjoy this class, please get a system. Get a system. It will help a lot. You cannot do automation, especially the one we are doing in this class, with your phone. Please get a system. All right, I've pasted the link on the chat. Please kindly click on that link and let's take this quiz. I will also let me paste it on the group. I've placed it on the group also, on the WhatsApp group, but I've placed it on the chat. Just join. I think my They're already warning me that I'm having 11 minutes. Please, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick.
From my end, it's saying I should ask question. I don't know if that is what's supposed to be doing.
I'm coming, please.
All right.
Okay, please. Has everyone successfully joined? Okay. So it's going to give you a place to enter your name. Just enter your name there and join. Did you see that?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
I can see 6 people have joined already. Okay. So I'm about to start the quiz. You read the answer, you only have 15 seconds to choose the correct answer. Let's see who gets it right. Why is automation one of the most valuable skills today? Okay, so we've discovered the answer is because it combines AI with automation to solve business processes effectively. All right, the next question. Which layer offers the biggest opportunity for beginners to earn income? I think I said this one when we talk about AI revolution. That was where I said something like this. Correct. So the application layer, I said that's the layer that you exist. We have the model, the interface, and the application layer below. Question number 3. You say, what is workflow automation? I stress this one also. This one shouldn't take time. I expect everybody to get this one. Correct. That's very good. The next question, which three components form the foundation of every automation workflow? This one should be a piece of cake. This one should be a piece of cake for everybody. Oh, I didn't expect 2 people to miss this. But anyway, that's very good. Good attempt. The next question. I just hope this thing will not time us out. Which task is the best example of AI automation? Copying customer information into Google Sheets, scheduling a weekly meeting reminder, reading a complaint email and determining its urgency, sending a receipt after payment. This one should also be a piece of cake. Whoa. The answer is reading the complaint. I stressed this one very well. Nice try, everyone. We have 4 more questions to go. What is the basic purpose of n8n? This one is easy peasy. Correct. Nice try, everyone. 3 more questions to go. Why do many automation professionals prefer n8n? This one should also be easy.
I know this show, Jay.
Good one.
Correct.
Good one. Good one. I think we have 2 more to go. In n8n, what is a node? I think this was part of the last statement I made. Nice. Nice one. The second to the last question. Okay, I think it's the last question. According to the class, what is the best way to master AI automation? I said this one also. Let me give you an expo. You are waiting for my expo. When I said you learn as you build, correct. Thank you, everyone. Now let's see. We have Divine. We have Divine scored. You see your points there. Oh, Divine is our winner for the day. We don't have loser in this place, I must tell you. Our slogan is we are not leaving anyone behind. All right, if there is no further question, thank you everyone. Thank you for your patience. I hope the class is educational. I hope you understood everything we explained. And by this, if you truly understood everything we talked today, you can declare yourself as an automation builder. You can declare yourself. I give you that license to declare yourself. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. See you next week.